Business schools today, they're caught in this absolute pressure cooker. On one side, you've got these massive expectations to drive innovation, to solve society's biggest problems. And on the other, they're navigating a total minefield of challenges. So what exactly are these forces? And can the traditional business school model even survive? Let's dive in and figure it out.
And really, it all comes down to this one big question. In a world that is changing this fast, is the traditional business school model actually built to last? I mean, the ground is literally shifting under their feet, and the stakes could not be higher.
And this slide, it just lays out the core conflict perfectly. On the one hand, society is looking at business schools to churn out the next generation of leaders and innovators. But behind the curtain, these same schools are grappling with shrinking budgets, totally exhausted faculty, and a whole new generation of students with completely different demands. It's the definition of a squeeze play.
All right, so to really get a grip on this pressure, you've got to start where it always starts. You have to follow the money. The financial crunch is very real, and it's hitting schools in ways you might not expect.
And wow, this is where you really start to see the story of inequality unfold. Just look at that gap. The average large business school is working with nearly 9 times the budget of a small one. I mean, this isn't a level playing field. It's not even the same sport. We're talking about a completely different universe of resources.
And look, that data we just saw, it's not just abstract numbers on a chart. This quote from a recent survey really puts a human face on it. For these smaller schools, this isn't just some strategic challenge they need to figure out. It's an existential threat. They're trying to compete while getting crushed by both falling revenues and skyrocketing costs.
And the thing is, it's not just one problem. The squeeze is coming from all directions at once. You've got technology and infrastructure costs that just keep climbing. Government funding, totally unpredictable. And now, on top of all that, schools are being told they have to invest heavily in things like AI, which is a huge new expense, all while trying to invent new ways to make money. It's a financial tightrope walk with no safety net.
Okay, so let's shift gears to the next huge pressure point, because it's not just about the money. The students themselves, they have fundamentally changed. The learners walking through the doors, whether they're physical doors or virtual ones, have a radically different set of expectations.
Just take a look at this number, 47%. In the Americas, that's the slice of business students in traditional, fully in-person programs. I mean, think about it. For an industry that was literally built on the whole campus experience, a number like that is just staggering.
So, it begs the question, right? If less than half of them are sitting in lecture halls, where in the world is everybody else? And the answer to that question reveals one of the biggest transformations in modern education.
And there you have it. Over half of all students are now in either fully online or hybrid programs. Let that sink in. The digital campus isn't the alternative anymore. For the majority of learners, it's quickly becoming the new normal. This isn't just a trend, it's a total transformation.
And it makes sense, right? These new learners, they're demanding a totally new kind of education. They want flexibility. We're talking modular programs and stackable micro-credentials, not a 4-year lock-in. They want practicality, hands-on projects, not just theory from a textbook. And crucially, they expect real support for their mental health and a digital experience that's completely seamless. The old model just doesn't work for them.
So as if juggling finances and new student demands wasn't enough of a headache, there's a third tidal wave crashing down on business schools, the AI revolution. And this isn't about some fancy new software. This is about completely redefining the skills you need to succeed in the workplace.
Okay, this is absolutely fascinating. On the left, you see the skills that are valuable right now, but look at the right, the skills for the very near future. Suddenly, creative thinking jumps to the top. AI and big data just pops up out of nowhere, and curiosity and lifelong learning becomes a top-tier skill. The shelf life of what you know is getting shorter and shorter.
And let's be clear, this isn't some ivory tower debate. This quote from a leader at KPMG, a huge employer of business grads, makes it crystal clear. Companies expect new hires to walk in on day one ready to tackle problems that used to be for senior employees. The training wheels are off.
So you see, for business schools, AI is this kind of two-headed monster. It's a critical skill they absolutely have to teach because employers are demanding it. But at the exact same time, it's a massive new expense they somehow have to fund. The software, the infrastructure, the faculty training. It's a huge new challenge that loops right back to those financial pressures we talked about.
So when you pile all of this pressure on top of each other, the financial crunch, the new kind of student, the technological revolution, you get to a pretty stark conclusion. Just tinkering around the edges isn't going to cut it anymore. The business school model itself needs a fundamental reinvention.
And you can already see the cracks starting to show in the system. A staggering 82% of faculty who are feeling burnt out point directly to their insane workload. The deans, the people steering these ships, are leaving their jobs faster than ever. And there's this growing feeling that the model is just breaking, creating a huge gap between a few superstar professors and an army of overworked instructors. As one person put it, the center really can't hold. But here's the cool part. Out of all this crisis, some really interesting new models are starting to pop up. This is a fantastic example. Instead of just teaching abstract theory, the University of Exeter went and partnered directly with the consulting giant Capgemini. They built a custom program together to train hundreds of consultants in real-world sustainability strategies. Now this is what the future looks like.
So what does this whole reinvention actually look like? Well, many are pointing to a path forward built on 5 core principles, and they're calling them the 5 Inters.
Let's quickly break these down. The future school has to be interdisciplinary, because real-world problems don't stay in their neat little boxes of business or tech. It's got to be interconnected, working hand in glove with companies to close that skills gap. It needs to be intergenerational, serving a 52-year-old executive just as well as a 22-year-old grad. It has to be internationalized for our global world. And finally, it must be completely integrated with AI and all the tech that's reshaping our lives. So we're not just talking about updating a textbook or building a new fancy building here. This is about a whole new philosophy, a new reason for what a business education is even for in the 21st century.
And that, right there, really brings us to the core of it all. For decades, business schools taught people how to manage what already exists, but the challenges we face today, they demand something more. The future won't be managed into existence. It has to be imagined first. And the business school that can actually teach its students how to do that, well, that's the one that's going to be built to last.